you, President. Well, it's been a very robust forum today, and appreciate everybody's patience, appreciate the panelists here. And I think that we have seen a clear distinction between those that feel this is flawed, and we have some agreement on both sides, versus those that think it can't go on in any form. You know, public education is a real challenge in our state. We spend over half of our state budget on it. While it's true that some of the top parts of our UC system, like Berkeley, may be only getting 10% of public funding, we're getting 40 to 50% for the university system statewide, and it's more than that for the CSU. So we have a tremendous investment. Having said that, it's still one of the best values among public educational institutions in the nation. So we have a real fundamental question. How do we keep it a top value? And I think we should relook at the Master Plan of Education and give a commitment to our students. But we also have our newest university in Central Valley that goes wanting. It has space because people don't want to go there. It doesn't have the reputation of Berkeley or Irvine or UCLA. And so part of it is perception that newer is not necessarily better. But I can't solve the funding problem today. I can't speak to a lot of the issues we do today. I will say this about foreign students. I've traveled around the world, and one of our best exports from the United States, and that includes California, one of our best exports is our education. Because people come here, they see our values, and they transplant those back to their other countries. And to the degree that we have a significant number of foreign students in the University of California system, it's still much lower than the national average of foreign students in other public institutions. So we need to keep that in perspective. And I wouldn't take that away from them. I think we need to grow the pie bigger so that we have more opportunities for everybody. But the fundamental issue before us today is SCA 5 a good policy for the state of California? No. The voters weighed in, much like you are today, back in 1996, and said race should not be a consideration on how we admit people into our public schools. And I will submit today, it still should not be. I would take you back to what the Supreme Court Justice, the Chief Justice, said, that if you're going to stop racial discrimination, you've got to stop discriminating by race. I don't think there is a way to fix this. If there's a way to amend the admission policy, the UC Regents have the ability to do that. They are autonomous from the state. We don't tell them what to do. We control a piece of the budget that we give them. They do everything else on their own. Now, the Constitution is something they have to abide by. So if we change this Constitution, that gives them the loophole to adjust the student population however they want. And they're not elected, they're not accountable. You need to make sure that you have people that represent you that are accountable. Your money goes to where it's accountable. And any way you look at it, from my perspective, this is flawed policy. We don't want to turn the clock back, and I hope that we can kill SCA 5 in the Assembly.
Yep.
Thank you all. Thank you all panelists, and thank you to the audience, especially for those who are outside during the weather. And hopefully this is a trigger in my involvement with community activism for Chinese Americans to join an effort. There's always a trigger. Trigger often is education, such as this. Sometimes there's other discriminatory factors, such as immigration issues, families who can come or cannot come to this country. But not many people stay engaged. So think about this as an experience. Think about how this suddenly happened to our community, and why was it that this could happen to our community without us knowing? Because we're weak. And why are we weak? Because we don't vote, we don't voice our opinion, we don't register, we go back and we do our own 自扫门前雪, as we could just know in front of our own house. So please remember this as a lesson. This is going to happen more and more in the future. If you intend to stay in this country, your children will be Americans. Be sure you pay more attention to American issues than you do Chinese issues, which of course you can be involved. You know, we're all Chinese and we believe in our culture, and we belong to that diaspora around the world. But nevertheless, this is where our roots are, and this is where our children's roots will be. And pay more attention, and that's all we want to do. APAPA wants to empower Asian Americans to engage more. Whatever party, whatever position, whatever you do, just be engaged. Show your voice. talk to people around you, other races, your friends, your families, your colleagues, schoolmates, other parents, churchgoers, your dentists, and your doctors, whoever. Make sure they understand you are a good person, you have your value that may be slightly different, but nevertheless, we're all human. We're going to eventually merge into one large race. That's maybe many years away from here, but we will someday. And the common ground is what we seek, and we are not out there to attack anyone, and we shall not be attacked by anyone. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for the great speeches. It is a really hot topic. I can smell the smoke. Well, if you want your voice to be heard, we better not talk here only. You can do something like join us, like register voter outside, right outside, out there. So, but believe me, this is just the beginning, and I believe it will be a remarkable beginning. Before the end, I'd like to invite Mr. Joe Wang to give us a remarkable conclusion. Albert, would you please introduce Joe a little bit?
Mr. Joe Wang, president of APAPA Bay Area chapter. He was a scientist at Livermore National Lab. Some of you are in the science field. And he actually fought the One Holy War with me, and is a very strong community leader, believing Asian American engagement, advocacy, and empowerment. So he will give the concluding remark for today's session. Thank you.
First of all, let us give the panel a big hand. Okay? And second of all, I want to congratulate you for coming here for taking up this issue. Okay, Asian Americans don't have power in this country because we don't register, we don't vote. Okay, so this is a good lesson for us. This is an issue that we can all rally behind and get together. APAPA is having a voter registration in Santa Clara County. Okay, you hear from us. We want all the Asians that are eligible to vote register and then vote in the primary and in the November election. Okay, APAPA provides several avenues for Asian empowerment. Okay, first of all, we have a internship program, and as do other organizations. Our internship program teaches our kids skills other than they learn from school. Okay, a week ago, there was an article in the New York Times about Google and how they hire people. Okay, and this was in the New York Times a week ago Saturday. They say, this is from an interview with the vice presidents in charge of people operations. They are saying that your SCA score doesn't matter. The college where you come from doesn't matter. The other skills that Asians need to learn matters. And what are those skills? Those are emotional quotient, PQ, persistence, and CQ, curiosity. Okay? So education is a good step for Asian American, especially Chinese American. That's the first step. You're not finished. You need to have your kids to learn more about the society, and you yourself need to get involved. Okay, this is my closing statement. I thank the panelists for coming, especially Professor Wang and Henry Der. They have their point of view, which may not be agreeable to you, but this is a democracy, and we should respect. We should. Thank the other organizations that co-sponsor this seminar, this town hall. So thank you for coming, and go out register to vote, get involved, and vote, okay?
Thanks for coming. We have some refreshment outside.
我是现在是。